Justice Miller, honorable judges and commissioners of the Superior Court, to the court personnel present today, to the members of the bar, to the Cho family, and to Suzanne's friends. I have been given the privilege of addressing Suzanne's last 10 years as a practicing lawyer. I've got to go back a little bit further. About 21 or 22 years ago, I used to make it a habit of going to the courthouse to watch the attorneys in court. And the reason for that was not to watch defense lawyers so much, but to watch prosecutors to get a better handle on the people that I would be dealing with in future cases. On several occasions, there was Suzanne Cho. What struck me about Suzanne was her intelligence, her preparation. They were just incredible. But it was really the fact that she was so nimble on her feet, could dance around when she had to. But it was her passion, more than anything, that led me to believe this woman is going to be a star. I would watch her sometimes and I learned it was more than just passion. Sometimes it became borderline audacious. She was not afraid to voice an opinion and stick by that opinion no matter what. And I was impressed with that. She would make arguments that in my best day I would have been afraid to make to a bench officer. But she had a way of doing it so that the officer, the judge, would listen, and rather than scowl, would not. Suzanne is an incredible talent. I was fortunate enough to convince her to leave the public defender's office and come to work for me. That was a little over 10 years ago. It was a great agreement that we had. She was going to come in, orient herself in my office, learn about it a little bit, and then take a 5-week vacation before actually starting to work. Because of circumstances, that didn't happen. No sooner did she come in for the orientation than I suffered a medical setback. I had appendicitis, was out of the office for 2 or 3 weeks, and soon after that, a member of my family passed away. And Suzanne, rather than getting her vacation, became the law office of Rodney Lee Soda. While I was gone for that 5 or 6 weeks, she took over the practice. And she did it seamlessly and without panic, but rather with a strong sense of responsibility, and she did a terrific job. In fact, she did such a terrific job that when I came back, I didn't recognize the office. What was once a disorganized, work-optional office became a real law firm. And it was at that point that I decided Suzanne would be the boss. And she basically ran things for the 10 years I was there. People have commented to me, you still have black hair. Well, you know, when you have somebody else doing all the worrying for you, you don't gray. Suzanne showed her mettle again approximately 5 years ago. I had a major setback. Doctors weren't certain whether I was going to survive it, and if I did, whether I would have my faculties. I was basically out of the practice for 6 to 8 months. During that period of time, Suzanne, again, was the rock. You know, Tom has talked to you about her skills as a lawyer. I want to talk to you about her mettle as a human being. She took over the practice for me. Again, she became the law officers of Rodney Lee Soda, and she made that law firm excel. You know, it was after that that I realized that the best thing I did in that 10 years was to bring her on board. And the second best thing I did was to get out of it. You know, these comments I'd like to address to the Cho family. You, as parents of Suzanne, have to be extremely proud of her accomplishments. But there's more to it than just her accomplishments. You should also take pride in yourselves for what you accomplished. You know, the American dream for immigrants, millions have come into this country since the beginning of this country with the dream of success, to start at the bottom and rise to the top. You had the courage and you had the foresight to bring your family to America. You brought Suzanne and her brothers and sisters here when they were children. You taught them the value of education. You taught them the value of hard work. You taught them the value of industry. And you not only watched your children grow, you watched them flourish. And all of your children flourished, but in Suzanne's case, because she's the only one I know, she did an incredible job. She went to the greatest, one of the best universities in the country. She attended one of the best law schools in the country. She became a lawyer. She not only became a lawyer, she became one of the most respected lawyers here in the Coachella Valley. And you're here today to watch her elevated to the bench. You know, that is the American dream, and that would not have been accomplished without your courage and your encouragement. And I think for that, you two ought to be applauded. You know, all the rest of us in this room who know Suzanne have either thought or said, I am so proud of her. And we are all proud of her. What I want to add to that is, from my standpoint, not only am I proud of her, but I have pride, and I'm proud, that I could say that I worked with her. I'm proud that I can say that she was a colleague of mine. And I'm proud to say that she is my friend. And your honors, you are going to receive one of the finest lawyers and one of the finest persons you will ever meet. I am confident, I have no doubt, that in the future, you will say the same things I did. You will be proud that you worked with her. You will be proud that she was your colleague. And you will be proud that she was your friend. At this time, it's my privilege to introduce, for the introduction to the oath, the Honorable Dean Benjamin.
My job is to introduce Dave Downing, but in order to do that, I need to go back just a few years. Approximately 21 years ago, maybe 22, 23 for a few of us, a group of us came out here as young attorneys. Commissioner Olson, sitting down here, myself, Emily Benjamini, Suzanne Cho, Tom Cavanaugh. And we started our careers here. Little did we know that we were starting our careers in truly a special place. One of the reasons this is such a special place to start a career as a young attorney is because there's such a small turnover and there's such a stability in the legal community. It's one of the few places that young attorneys can really get to know judges and get to know the bench in a manner which I don't really think is possible in other communities. Little did we know how much those judges and those individuals and people in the legal community would really become a fabric, a part of the fabric of our legal careers and our legal professions. To a certain extent, we came to know them, they came to know us, and they really become part of your genetic DNA as a lawyer, or your genetic encoding. There was a group that we started with, they're either BAs or currently on the bench, who have all become bench officers. We have Judge White, Judge P.J. York, Judge Irwood, Judge Stafford, Judge Fry, Judge Sheldon, there's another one back here, Commissioner Vest, and Judge Douglas in the audience, who were there with us and with Suzanne from the very first moment that we entered a courtroom. And they truly, truly became part of our lives and part of Suzanne's life. There's another judge that was part of that, and that is Judge Downey. For those of you that don't know how it works, and Judge Pop alluded to this, you're not just simply appointed when the governor decides he wants to appoint someone to the bench. There has to be an open seat. And you actually take a seat that was part of someone else's judicial career. So when Suzanne found out that she was going to be appointed to Judge Downey's seat, it suddenly became a very simple decision for her of who she wanted to administer the oath. Judge Downey has a very special part in all of our hearts who have worked with him. As a DA supervisor and then as a judge, he taught us all the value, and to Suzanne especially, to all of us, that you always do the right thing. Consequences be damned sometimes, you do the right thing. And that has become such a part of what we have all learned as an important part of our legal career, and certainly as a judge, that it's with great pride and honor that I would like to introduce Dave Downey to step on up and administer the oath to our next Riverside County Superior Court judge.
After me, I do solemnly, your name please.
I, Suzanne Sinoccio,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. Let's start. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the State of California.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this oath obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.